Generation. I always like the radio edit version.
Today is Thursday, the day Johnny's mother works late.
Well, let's see if I can beat Frankie's score.
Johnny is playing numbers up.
Didn't make it, but I'm gonna before Mom gets home.
Set the timer and start. Unscramble the numbered pegs and put them in order 1 to 20 before time is up.
Johnny, I'm home. I did it! I beat Frankie's score.
Oh, I didn't know you had company.
Numbers Up, the game of memory and time, from Milton Bradley.
Look, there it is! Forbidden. Let's go back! No, let's get the jewels! Forbidden.
The game's Forbidden Bridge. Dare to cross Forbidden Bridge. But if the angry idol shakes it, you can fall to your doom. First to grab the idol's jewels and get to safety wins. But beware, Forbidden Bridge is... Forbidden! 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 Forbidden!
I win!
Forbidden Bridge. It's forbidden!
Welcome, new dads. Let's change some diapers. All right, what we want to do is open up the diaper, put it underneath the baby's bottom. There you go. When it's done, it should look like this. Ooh, not so tight, it's a baby. There you go, gentle on the tummy. All right, let's practice some bottle feeding. Good, we're gonna take the cap off. Jiggle it over the baby's lips. The mouth should open. Don't tap, no tapping. All right, let's strap on our baby helmets. It should just fit snugly right over the head. Then take the strap underneath the chin. Yours is on backwards, sir. You have to turn it around. There you go. Good job. You guys are doing great. Okay, let's practice some cannon launches.
Prepare your baby for battle. Mario and Luigi Partners in Time. Only for Nintendo DS.
Go ahead. Don't worry, he's got a helmet on. Good.
The Rafford fireplace is the first fireplace that doesn't need a chimney. That's right, Sweep. Or a flue. It has a choice of surrounds, is quick and easy to assemble, and burns with a real flame. And because it doesn't need a chimney, you can say bye-bye, Sooty. Bye-bye, Sweep. Call 0-100-4444.
When Luke Skywalker was most vulnerable.
This is a dangerous time for you. It is you and your abilities the Emperor wants.
When a renegade hero became a friend in desperate need. And a dark villain faced his greatest challenge.
Join me, and together we can rule the galaxy as father and son.
When the Empire turned more and more to the forces of the underworld.
Bounty hunters. We don't need that scum.
The underworld moved in to crush the Empire and the Rebellion in a single stroke. After The Empire Strikes Back and before Return of the Jedi, there was a time when heroes and villains alike lived in the shadows of the Empire.
Wouldn't it be nice if the world was Cadbury? You could surf inside a chocolate tube. Ride your boat across the wave forever. Get wiped out and never get a bruise. And if a shark came up and tried to bite you, you could say, I'm chocolate, I invite you. Wouldn't it be nice?
Today we're trying out the new Shock Blaster from Ratchet & Clank Up Your Arse. Whoa!
Dude, they got your mom.
Hey, return fire! Dude, higher!
Okay, it's on.
Hello, everybody. Hello. How we doing this time? It's time for SLOPESCAST, ladies and gentlemen. We got people over on YouTube. We got people over on Twitch. We got people over on TikTok soon. And actually, there is actually a fourth place now. Isn't there, Grizzly? We worked this out minutes before we went live.
Yes, you can now watch the SLOPESCAST live on Discord. So you've got choices, people. Choices.
We are spreading ourselves so thin. Although I'm sure the hardcore followers, your Michael Towns, your Daltons, all of those awesome peeps are going to be able to watch from all 4 different places. TikTok isn't live yet. We don't go live on TikTok until I go to this room right here. Whoa, let's move that page. There we go. And now I'm going to hit go live on TikTok because I have to do that manually
Wagamama,
afterwards.
beef eater. Yes,
Absolutely. That's
what we're discussing tonight. Where to have dinner.
So did anyone hear the awesome rapping by Grizzly?
Oh, you did it. You did as well.
I did
oh, God.
Yeah, we did it, man.
Yeah, if you heard that, I apologize. And if you liked it, I don't. So...
Right,
that's...
Save. I'm trying to... I'll have to upload... Oh, no, it says character limit. Can you believe it?
What, the sun don't even shine through your window pane?
So go ahead and talk. Talk about me.
DJ Slopes radio edit.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. How is everyone in the chats today? Come on, let's see your lovely blue, green, and white text saying hello, hello, hello. Let's hear it.
Let's do it,
while
guys.
Dan works out some technical stuff.
It's actually, I think we're about there.
We are now live. Confirm and go live on TikTok.
Yes, Michael, I have had one of those days. You know, where you just don't want to wake up.
That's it. Okay, we are live. I was working out why I could hear myself twice, but for some reason, even though TikTok says it's muted, it wasn't. So you have to unmute yourself and then mute yourself again. That's it, guys. Hello to 4 different platforms: Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, and Discord. We are live everywhere. Mental. So, massive shout out to all of you peeps. Let's see who we got in the chat. We got Ultimate Joshy Washiness and Luke Jorgensen, Vitus Varnes, Michael Towns, all over on YouTube. With Andy Norton as well. Let's not forget Andy Norton and Sarah Luderer and Salad Snake. But over on Twitch, who are winning the race right now, we've got Chevmatic. We've got Grizzly, who's in the chat. We've got Saburo and Old Farts, Michael Towns again. Rainer, how you doing, Rainer? Always good to have you here. And others. Lumbertron88. Salad Snake is on both. I see ya. Dutch Chairman as well. There's some other people that I've probably not seen. And we got, hey, Freak Child over on TikTok. This is ridiculous. Too many places to look. I've got to look in too many places. Peeps.
I gotta love the Lambtron name, by the way. I know where that's from. In fact,
really?
most people who've seen South Park knows where that's from. It's the Chin Pokemon.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what have you been up to lately? Before we get into it, tell us, what have you been up to, Grizzly? What have you been up to?
What have I been up to? So, in terms of the day in the life of Grizzly, I wake up, I work, I do very little else, and then I sleep. But I have taken up a new hobby, which we said about last week. I don't know if you mind me mentioning it again here.
Go for it. I haven't got a link. Have you got a link?
I can make a link. Yeah. So I am now posting on Instagram as my main means of content creation. And you can find me over at the Grizzly Grotto, which is the name of my game room area / things. And I post daily pictures of various things that align my shelves. And then hopefully you might find that interesting.
Absolutely, because I'll tell you what, guys, even though it's my name on the title screen, Grizzly is very much the backbone of this. Hey, Smiley Dave over on TikTok, good to see you here, mate. Yes, the person that creates the thumbnail that pulls together the news stories that the awesome people over on Discord put out every week. So yeah, make sure you go and support him as well. I mean, I'm sure people here know who I am, but make sure you go show some love to Grizzly as well. Go and do that thing. Go and do that thing. Oh, yes.
Very much.
And thank you guys for joining over on TikTok as well. Everyone's everywhere. This is good.
Yeah.
But you know what? I have been up to some hardcore Tekken research. I'm about 3/4 of the way through the timeline now. I'm really shooting through them now. And yeah, for the upcoming Tekken, the complete history, it's becoming a pretty big video. There's a lot of Tekken games out there. And here's a surprise for you, not to ruin it. Tekken Advance is not that bad.
It isn't that bad, no. But the question remains from the admin chat, because I never received an answer. Are you going to do the Tekken movie?
Oh, I see. I mean, it'll get mentioned. Let's leave it there. I mean, I'm not gonna go hardcore with it. I mean, there's several, isn't there? You got the animated movie. I think there's 2 live-action Tekken movies. Was there a series as well? I need to look into that. I know there was the comic run and the mangas as well.
It's got to be the Tekken anime of some kind.
The interesting thing about the world of Tekken, if you're looking into the storyline, and it just goes skew-whiff when it gets to around about 4 and 5. It's there's you get a different ending depending on who you win as, but only one of the endings continues on to the next game, which tends to be Hayashi. Hayashi, am I saying that right? Hayashi, throws his son off a cliff to prove his worthiness, and then his son throws his dad off a cliff, and then the dad throws his son into a volcano. It's like It just keeps looping.
And then you get the Smash Brothers version where you're throwing Kirby and various other characters up. Great pastiche there.
Absolutely.
Oh, there you go. New first time chatter. Hello, Wildcala 01. There's 2 animated films and 2 live action. I only thought that there was 1 movie. I've just opened up a thread. I cannot.
That's it. I know what you're doing after this.
Yeah, I'm definitely not watching those.
Is there Tekken movies? Because like sometimes people are a little bit naughty and upload movies in their full.
I'm sure it's on there.
Because if it is, one of the Tekken movies is up there.
Wow.
A couple of them are. Well, you know what, guys? Make sure you join into Discord because I think that might be the next film we do a full watch through. You can come and do a little commentary watch through of it. With us. I don't know when it'll be. Probably within the next week. We'll watch it. Probably the motion picture. We'll go through. So make sure you sign up to Discord, and we can do that thing. Now,
definitely do that because movie nights are always a really good laugh, and it just descends into memes and madness.
Absolutely.
So definitely worth joining in.
Absolutely. I've just left the link to the Discord, so make sure you go and sign up. You don't have to be a patron or anything like that. Although if you are, you get access to the exclusive rooms. But it doesn't matter because hey, it's all good. It's all good. Now, before we go ahead, massive shout out to Andy Norton for resubbing now for 7 months in a row. Thank you very, very much, my good sir. Very, very nice of you. But before we get into all of this week's topics, I've got some good news and I've got some bad news. But technically, it's actually all good news. There will not be a stream this Thursday. Thank you very much to Tilda T for subscribing, tier 1. Thank you very much. That's awesome of you. Cheers. Yes, I will not be streaming this Thursday. And the reason why, and that's obviously the bad news, but the reason why is because I'm actually organising a massive charity event with the family in preparation for children in need and a local people's pantry thing, which is like essentially filling up fridges for people that can't afford to fill up their fridges. It's like a local food banky type thing. So half money going to children in need and the other half going to that. It's a big thing I'm working on with my family. I've got an absurd amount of local businesses involved. Just Giving page, which unfortunately I can't share because it's got very, very personal details on there, like where I live, where my son goes to school, that sort of stuff. So unfortunately I can't share it publicly because I would love to get donations from all of you guys, but we can't do it like that. Who just did that? Who's that? Lambertron88. Thank you very much. Thank you for subscribing. Following, sorry.
You're welcome.
Yes, so that's why I'm not going to be able to stream this Thursday. It's going to be a late one, and then the family are coming back, and we're going to have a big takeaway and all that sort of stuff. It'll be a chill out after the big event. However, to make up for it, not only are we now going to be watching Tekken in the movie in Discord, hopefully within the next week, but it has almost been a year, and I'm a little bit upset Viakeko's not here because he's going to love to hear this. It's almost been a year to the day, or about a year to the day, since we played the terrible War of the Worlds game. And I think, as a bit of a 1 year anniversary, we need to bring back the terrible War of the Worlds game.
Don't forget to collect that red weed.
Yeah, we're bringing back but it's just going to be for one night. Let's see if they've actually improved it. You know, maybe it's going to be improved. And actually, I do have, and I don't think I ever redeemed it, but I do have a PlayStation. If I look back through my emails, I think I got a PlayStation 4 code for the game as well. So maybe we can try it on the PlayStation 4. Oh, maybe for the PlayStation 5, actually. So, yes, one night only. It's going to be good. Oh, thank you so much. Cheers.
One night.
One night in heaven. Yeah, go on, let's share it. It is yours, yeah. We're just
there you go,
share
guys.
A whisper.
And now let's try not to snap it, otherwise it'll be a careless whisper. Hey, there you go.
Yeah, you said if we snap it, it could be a careless whisper. Did you like that?
Yeah. And this is a keen reminder, perfectly well timed to stay hydrated, people.
Mm-hmm. Vitas Varnes. Sorry, let me explain this to people that wasn't around. No, we are not talking about the often overlooked, I would say, PlayStation 1 War of the Worlds game. We are talking about the horrendous War of the Worlds game that came out about a year and a half ago. That I got very excited about, but it just turned out...
That was one of our first podcast topics, if I recall.
It was terrible.
Yeah.
It's such a bad game in every possible way. And people still talk about it to this day. It turned into a bit of a meme on the SLOPESCAST.
Yeah. Don't forget to collect that red weed.
It's so
which
bad.
is not a collectible. It is something that's horrible and really bad for your lungs, but you know.
Yep, absolutely.
Whatevs.
So it's like I say, no stream this Thursday, but for the following Thursday we will be bringing back the War of the Worlds for one night only. Maybe it'll be a yearly thing. We don't know. Actually, we'll see.
Yeah, in 5 or 6 years you complete it. Yeah.
Yes. Right. Let's do this. And people are commenting on my video. I don't understand how TikTok works. So I'm still trying to get my head around this thing. I don't even know if really streaming a podcast to TikTok is really what TikTok's about. But we'll see. Right. Let's do this. Should we get into... Oh, no, we got to be bringing Craig into the chat, have we not?
Yeah, the wonderful, illustrious Craig. Let's say hello. Right, that's what you do. That's when you don't introduce him properly.
Craig.
There we go.
Now recording.
Hey, thank you.
Now recording.
And now we got that. Should we do our little countdown, our backup recording?
Yeah, let's do a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And go.
Think.
Love it.
Not as good as last week, that one.
No, I started at 4, so.
Yeah.
Right, and I think other than that, it's time to play the intro.
You have just been invaded by...
Hey there guys, this is DJ Slope from Slope's Game Room, and you're listening to SLOPESCAST, the retro gaming news show recorded live on Twitch with my co-host Grizzly Crichton. If you like the podcast and you want to be in a chance to be on a future episode, then please do consider becoming a Patreon or YouTube member. And if you have any particular news stories that you would like us to cover in a future episode, then please do let us know in the dedicated rooms over on Discord. Plus, if you are listening to the podcast on any of the many podcast services around the world, then please do give us a little review. It really does help us spread our wings and get into the earlobes of plenty of other podcast goers. Anyway, enough of the plugs. Let's get on with the show. I just realised that looked terrible on TikTok. I need to reformat that. But anyway, hello guys, it's SLOPESCAST time, and we've got, as always, 6 topics of conversation to be bringing up. A lot of amazing logos to throw all over that thumbnail. We see id, I see Xbox, I see Duke Nukem, I see PlayStation 3, I see Grand Theft Auto, and Terranigma. But that's the brief. Why don't you tell us what these topics are actually about, Grizzly?
Right, so this week on the SLOPESCAST, we talk about id Software trying to block a metal band from using the name Doom Scroll. 76 new backwards compatible titles come to the Xbox platforms, and various other announcements at the Xbox 20th anniversary celebration. Duke Nukem comes to the UK in a genuinely epic fan-made mod called Duke Smoochum.
Wait for it, guys. It is nuts. For anyone in the UK, you need to stick around for this. It's bonkers that this exists, but carry on.
I can't wait for that. And then we also take a look at 15 years of the PlayStation 3. If you feel like you've now rapidly aged, there's a good reason for it. We discuss the disastrous GTA Definitive Edition launch as we follow up on a previous podcast topic. And then we also talk about Yuzo Koshiro leading the industry in petitioning for Terranigma to return.
Absolutely. Yeah, so we've got quite a lot of awesome topics to be chatting through. And we're going to start off, like you said, with Doom. Well, it's normally good news when we chat about Doom.
Yeah,
not
usually.
so much this week. Not so much this week.
So Bethesda have like done a lot of good recently, and now I know people might dispute that when we're talking stuff like Fallout 76 or just like Skyrim using the same engine, and oh my god, there's a new Skyrim remaster out already. But when it comes to Doom, they've got this solid. However, Bethesda and id Software, being Bethesda and id Software, they have decided that they're going to take umbrage at this gentleman guitarist who has decided he wants to trademark the name Doom Scroll. Doom Scroll meaning what you would do, say, if you're going through Twitter or
scrolling
Instagram.
through.
You're scrolling through and all you see is doom, death, bad news, essentially. So it's really got nothing to do with Doom or Elder Scrolls. But of course, they decided they're going to jump in with the trademark suit. It kind of reminds me of a certain Timothy Langdale, if anyone remembers that edgy case.
It's tough. I mean, apologies if they do, but do they have much of a presence, this band?
No. So this band, I believe, is looking to form. And so what they've done is said they've seen a really cool name, noticed it wasn't trademarked, and went, you know what? Let's have a butchers at this. The funny thing is about trademark law as well is that you do it by categories. It has to be for a certain thing. There's a reason why you would see like a Barclays Bank and a Barclays in like completely unrelated thing, like Barclays Bakers or something like that. It's because they're two different categories. They sell two different products, and therefore they're not infringing on each other. I find it hard pressed to believe that Doom would be trademarked for metal under id Software.
Yeah.
So it's just really, really strange. So they're being very, very strong about this trademark, and I don't really see why they feel like they have the rights to just about anything Doom related. But yeah, interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that's worth bringing up. I mean, it's pretty much guaranteed that everybody watching and listening to this is not going to be happy with it. This isn't a good move.
Not, no.
And there's nothing really else to say. This is a really scummy thing to do. It's like,
yeah. I mean, do you remember
in case they get big? Like, I don't know. Like,
do you remember when so what they're doing is basically saying, look, okay, we're warning you here. Don't try to use any doomy imagery, or do not try to create confusion. That's very specific words used for trademark. If it creates confusion between the brand and the band, then that can be a problem. And what id Software have done is stop these guys from using this name publicly until 2023, and I just feel like it's completely worthless.
Yeah.
If anyone remembers reading British news about a couple of years ago, there was a certain comedian called Joe Lycett who changed his name to Hugo Boss because they found that the Boss brand was used for a brewery. And Hugo Boss took umbrage to that and said, no, it's going to cause confusion between our brand, even though it clearly isn't. So there is precedent of this.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like I say, it reminds me of the whole Edge saga. I remember that because that was one of the videos I edited for Larry back in the day, actually. That was a crazy one.
That's one hell of a story if anybody hasn't seen it before. A gentleman, well, I say gentleman, a bit of a troll named Timothy Langdale runs Edge Games.
That's right.
And he was squatting on the Edge trademark for years and years and years, even though he had no real intention of using it other than to try and gain money from things. So he's the reason why Soul Edge was named to Soul Calibur here in the UK.
That's right.
He's he went up against EA for Mirror's Edge. Guess who won that one? Edge magazine had a lot of issues with this guy, and famously, what brought all of this to the thing is a little app called Edgy, which was it was originally called Edge, and then they got approached by Timothy Langdale, who said, "You can't do that, and you can't have Edgy either, and you need to now rename your game to Bobby Bearing 2."
It's so ridiculous, wasn't it? Crazy. It really, really was so ridiculous. It's like, get a life, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't win many fans doing that at all.
Yeah, so if you're ever going into a creative profession in which you're hoping to make some money, make sure you check your trademarks first, because it is a minefield out there.
It really is, because like you say, some people generally do just sit there and wait for it to, like you say, just be completely, just wait for anyone to use that name. It's a real shame.
Yep, so Surf Boring Old Fart brings up a really good point, and this is something I actually had in my notes as well. Bethesda are notorious for anything that bears the name Scrolls, and if you remember, a few years ago, Mojang had a game called Scrolls, which was going to be their follow-up to Minecraft, and they went into a massive legal. They went into a massive legal battle because Bethesda just didn't want it to be called Scrolls. It's just crazy.
It's ridiculous.
Especially when you think that people invest time, money, and all of this just to get things going. And then there's another great example. Iron Maiden was renamed to Iron Fury because of the band taking umbrage too.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. I will say Iron Maiden did have several video games long before Iron Maiden got made. You had that Ed Hunter game. You had various other things. Power Slave was renamed because Iron Maiden had an album called Power Slave, and they had to rename it to Exhumed here in the UK. There's loads of examples of this regional trademark issues that have caught that come to the fore. It's really interesting to see and keep track of. Definitely.
Absolutely. It's but yeah, back to this whole doom scroll thing. It's like you never want to hear negative stories like this about a game or a franchise or a company that you like, and sometimes these sort of things happen, and it's just a real shame, especially when it's something like this. It's like, come on, is it really going to cause any kind of issue? No. And there's a whole genre called doom metal. Do they own that too? Like, it's ridiculous. It's a real shame. But bit of a sad way to start.
There's so many like fan acts out there who I'm sure use like Doom Slayer or what have you in their title, and they don't get bothered. The only reason this has happened because the guys decided that they want to trademark it and make a thing out of it. It's just a shame.
It is you said it. It is indeed a shame. Topic 2, I think, because I don't like bad negative topics like this. But this is a very good one. Yeah. This is a good one.
Yes.
This is a good
one. Double-edged sword on this one. I'll get to that in a bit.
He said the edge word.
Oh, no, Tim. Leave me alone.
So Microsoft have just announced, as part of the 20th anniversary, or at least that's the date it's landing on, or around that date, 76 new games that are going to be compatible with backwards compatibility with the... is it just Xbox Series X, S?
It's Series X, One X, One S, all of the Xbox platforms, essentially, that can run backwards compatibility. So,
lovely.
Real good move. And then also a bunch of these games, about 34 in fact, get FPS boosts. So games like Sonic Unleashed, Sonic Generations, Sonic All-Stars Racing Transformed get bumped up to 60 frames per second, which to my mind makes it the only way to play those games now in the best format. So that's a big win for Microsoft.
Don't even bother trying to set up your system to play Chicken Little. Like, now the best way to do that is on an Xbox One. Don't be a fool.
So this is where the sad news comes in, because as much as I love this move, and I've always loved Microsoft's idea of doing backwards compatibility, because one of the main reasons I bought the Series X, the issue is this is the last lot that we're going to get.
Oh, is it?
It is. That is the real sad part. So if, like me, you looked at this, fan-pleasing move and just went, you know what? I'm going to invest in Microsoft because they're pleasing specifically me. And now they've only gone and bloody cancelled it. And one of the last games they did is Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader?
And 50 Cent Blood on the Sand.
I mean, where's Outrun 2? Where's Crazy Taxi 3? Where's Jet Set Radio Future?
They were the three that I instantly went to. And all three of them weren't there. And I know everyone's going to have, it'd be great if they had that one. But the three that I instantly went to weren't here.
Yeah.
Mental. What's that Ninja Monkey party game thing called? What was that called? Kung Fu Chaos. Is that part
that's
of it?
Yeah. I think that's already on there. I'm not sure. It's been a while since I looked at the overall list. I mean, let's not be like too bad on this, because
it's still
they
good
have
thing.
done quite a lot, and there is a few licensed games in there that can't have been cheap. And I mean, it's a double-edged thing. I mean, you can easily like resell a bunch of these games, but they were never ever going to give you games in which they could not resell. So there's no way they were going to open up games like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater free, and the X2 version or what have you. Which is a real shame.
Are you smarter than a fifth grader one?
Yeah,
that's so strange.
Yeah, I mean, like going out on Chicken Little, Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader, and 50 Cent Blood on the Sand, which I'm going to go out on a limb, right, and say it's a much better game than it has any right to be.
Really?
Genuinely, if you put on the custom soundtrack feature, yep, Xbox 360 fans in the house, and then play 50 Cent Blood on the Sand, it might as well be called Brad Shirley Goes to Afghanistan for all I care, because it's a really good shooter.
Salad Snake
really,
says,
really good shooter.
Jet Set Radio Future would be hard with all the licensed music. Would that be an issue?
True.
Would that be an issue? Does licensed music play an issue with this? Because all they're just you're putting the disc in yourself.
Yeah, because there's no way they're going to let you have a game that's playable on disc and not try to sell it to people who would be interested in buying it.
Yeah, okay. And I suppose that's very crazy taxi issues as well.
Yeah, same with Outrun, the Ferrari, and what have you. I can fully understand.
Come on, Outrun, that would have been so perfect.
Then
that
the
would have been like one of the best ways to
Climax
play
as
it.
well, yeah. Afterburner Climax would have been amazing to see in 4K as well.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's
such a shame.
That's the best part. You know, the original Xbox games are getting upgraded to 4K when they go through backwards compatibility. How cool is that? But, you know, I'll settle with Panzer Dragoon Auto for now, but there's only so many times I can play that game.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice one to have. I'm just going to try and find up the full list, because I would like to find...
I just noticed a game in that list which I didn't spot before, but our good friend Tommy Tallarico would be quite pleased to see it, and that's Advent Rising.
Oh, right, yes, I see, yeah.
Yeah, the game that had the competition that never went to pass because they couldn't possibly fulfill it. You had to unlock everything, and then, like, they would send you a prize or something like that, $10,000 or something silly,
right,
and they could never do it.
I've got the full list here, so let's have a look. You got your Star Wars games there. Black, that was one I never actually played. Black
in 60 frames per second is a really good shout. Great first-person shooter.
Destroy All Humans. I mean, that's cool to have, but they've redone it now. Crimson Sky is obviously one of the big selling points, wasn't it? Splinter Cell, Chaos Theory is good. Red Faction 2 is good, but I think they did a remake of that as well, or a remastered version of that. Fusion Frenzy, I'm all about that. And SSX 3, two fantastic games. Obviously, Conker's Reloaded is nice as well. I'm looking for Toe Jam and L3. Grabbed by the Ghoulies.
It's not gonna be there.
Oh, for goodness sake!
Yeah.
This isn't obviously the full list, but it's the list that Xbox are showing us. Oh, really?
There are some significant titles like Jedi Academy. Sorry, not Jedi Starfighter Plus.
Yeah.
Which only released in the US is coming to it, so that's a nice little ad.
I feel like such a spoiled child, like kicking my feet, but I don't want that one.
Yeah. I want them to just open up the emulator now and just turn around and say, look, it's not going to be 100%. Not all of the games will have the best results, like these previous ones, but just go nuts. Stick whatever disc you want in there. If it works, hooray. If it doesn't, okay, we tried our best.
Yeah, I agree.
I'll be all over that.
Yeah. What a shame. I mean, here I am complaining about this, but they've just threw another 76 on it, so it's obviously not bad. But like you say, you would want more. Unfortunately, I'm always someone that looks, and this is one of the reasons that my issues with the N64. Like a lot of games that you would go back and play on the N64 have either been remastered or done better on future systems. I mean, that probably could be the case for a lot of Nintendo games, but a lot of the ones that I'm seeing on this list, like Beautiful Katamari, I kind of have a better version of Katamari. Like 361's fantastic as well. Obviously, the Dead or Alives have pushed along quite a lot there. Some games I don't really care about, like Chicken Little. Stuff like that. I mean, I lie, actually. My son really wants to play Chicken Little, so that believe me, someone's happy about that, and they're in this house. It's like you say. I wish they put it out there and said, look, these games aren't going to work 100%. Just go nuts. But like you say, you're not going to make money on those, are you? So
yeah, I mean the Sonic Unleashed stuff is really cool. I love the fact that they've made those games playable in 60 frames per second, because if you've ever played the original Sonic generations on Xbox 360 and then went to PC, it's a night and day difference. Those games are made for 60 frames per second, and there's just no way to do it after you've experienced that. I'm so glad that experience has come to console now.
I was unaware that Toy Story Mania was on the Xbox. I knew it was on the Wii because it works with the Wii. It's a shooting game, but there it is. So hey, that's
one of the ones I'm low-key excited for in that list is Time Pilot. I spent an exorbitant amount of game time on that one, and that's just the simple arcade game.
There you go.
With the spinner control. I even got the little spinner Mad Catz controller, and it's absolutely trash. But yeah. Good game, mate. Enjoyed it.
We got people here saying Saddle Snake actually says this is why we always need the emulation scene, and
afraid so, yeah.
It's true. You know, like it's probably a naughty thing to agree on, but it's true.
Yeah.
Marcus says, I love my modded OG Xbox for the games we will never get.
Yeah.
Oh yes. I don't have one, but yeah, I probably should look into that.
I probably will soon.
Yeah.
So there are a couple of other things that were announced at Xbox Anniversary event. Just want to close this off quite nicely.
Go on then.
So we're looking at the Halo series is coming to Paramount Plus.
Yes, the teaser trailer went up, didn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the one they announced way back when the Xbox One was first announced. When they kept going TV, and it's finally coming to fruition. And then, rather interestingly, an Xbox history documentary is coming to Netflix soon.
That's cool.
That sounds really cool to me, because they're going to do a warts and all documentary. They clearly know that they made mistakes over the years, and then they got looked back and laughed at it.
Yeah.
Which is a really cool thing. I really enjoyed that from the presentation more so than anything else. I mean, they showed the boom, there it is moment for the Kinect announcement and what have you.
Absolutely.
So, yeah,
it's one of those things that, like, I hope they do it good, because I mean, I'm obsessed with like video game history. Obviously, it's what my channel's based around, but I'm also obsessed with, not many people realize this, but I'm also obsessed with the history of Disney, and I love looking up Disney history. And there's a lot of good channels out there that do like the history of theme park rides and whatever else, like the obvious channels, Defunct Lands and what have you. And then when Disney themselves do their little documentaries on Disney Plus, I mean, they're beautiful because they've got the best looking footage, because hey, they're Disney, they own it. But a lot, it's so clean, and it's so like everything they did was right, except for there's one documentary called Waking Sleeping Beauty, and if you're a fan of watching how they almost completely destroyed themselves, go check that out. But with when it comes down to this sort of thing, I hope Xbox, like you say, do talk about all of the good and the bad, because there is definitely enough to talk about on both sides, for sure.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
Indeed. So but hey, it's exciting stuff. And I'm always up for more stories like this. I think it's exciting.
Definitely,
absolutely. But yeah, just give us more. I'm a spoiled brat, and I want more. That's what I want. So moving away from topic number 2 and into topic number 3. This is the most ridiculous mod ever. So this isn't out yet. This is a work in progress. But let me play this, and this is unbelievable. Check this out. So this is explain. I'll play it while you explain. Go on.
Well, what I was going to say is, for those listening at home, I appreciate that this is a very visual one. So I've just switched to the lowest latency feed I can, so I can try and commentate what's about to happen. Okay.
Essentially, it's a Duke Nukem mod. Whoa, let's turn it down. It's a Duke Nukem mod set in the UK. And there's so much in there for British people to like completely fall in love with. Like, you obviously got the London Underground, but Snappy Snaps shops. The old war hero that done the walk during the pandemic in the sky. Maplin shops being closed down. There's a Greg's. He's going.
And I love
Duke Nukem and Greg's.
The attention to detail on the sausage rolls and the EU Brexit battle bus in the background.
Absolutely. And pick up your tube maps with the Metro. Mr. Blobby outside of CEX, which you can shoot and kill. Blobby, blobby, blobby.
Oh man!
I saw a fried chicken.
Yeah,
like,
the chicken sausage. Yeah.
You can go get your pictures done at iSnap. You can demolish a BHS, British Home Stores, for people that don't know what that is.
You know what's amazing is I actually recognise some of the locations that they've made.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, it's fairly sure I've walked down that street.
It's so good. They're in a Pret A Manager now, which is kind of like a cafe. It's kind of like a slightly posher Greg's. Is that a good way of putting it?
Yeah, it's a fancy Greg's. Yeah, shooting up Durex machines.
It's like, why does this exist? But for anyone that lives in the UK, like, it doesn't matter if you're into first-person shooters or not. Like, I'm not, and I want to play this so bad. This is unbelievable. What? No Nando's, says Dutch Chairman? I'm not sure. Does a Nando's come up in this? I'm sure it probably would. But there's London tour bus, with the Biffa bins. Just like the amount of detail is unreal.
I just love the fight in the Sainsbury's local. I love it. The Sports Direct mug.
Sainsbury's local, yeah. There is a dodgy bit coming up, which I'm not going to skip it. It's in the trailer.
Yeah. So just mind out. If you remember hearing a theory about a certain ex-prime minister, then you'll know what's about to come. Then you got the Karens there.
Karen's trying to run over the Insulate Britain banner people sitting in the road. So when I thought, bloody hell, even though I'm not British, this looks amazing. It really is.
Michael Gove dancing in the nightclub, yeah. I don't know what this is. This Keir Starmer shooting a llama.
I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah,
that one. But you got the self-storage place. We actually put ours up. You can use your Oyster card to go underground. This is all in a mod, guys. You can blow up Stonehenge. That's it. Yeah, Stonehenge. I went past Stonehenge for my stag do, and I got a picture of me outside it dressed up as Mario. So that's a really cool one. This one, that was actually something I brought up in. Let me see if I can go back a bit. There it is. That young lady upside down in a bathroom, stuck in a window. That's something I brought up in a Kick Scammer episode. The girl that she did. I'm going to quickly tell this story. There was this guy went on a date with a lady. They went to Nando's, as someone said in the chat. They went back to his place. She went to the toilet and she did a poo, and the poo didn't flush. So her idea was to scoop it out of the toilet in tissue and throw it out the window. But the window was between two panes of glass. So basically there was a gap at the top, but it only went over the first pane of glass, and then behind it there was a pane of glass that you couldn't open. So she thought the poo was out in the garden. They went trying to find it and realised it was in between these two sheets of glass. So she, being a gymnastics, would climb into it upside down to pick out the poo, but then she got stuck and then had to call out the fire brigade to cut it out, and then there was a GoFundMe for it. The guy actually got quite mildly famous for telling the story. He ended up on like breakfast stuff, and it ended up being in newspapers and stuff. But yeah, this is her upside down. Didn't ever want. I don't think anyone actually knows who she is, but didn't want to be known. But now she's in the Duke Nukem mod game. It's just like little details like that. Like I know this story. Like, it's ridiculous.
This is someone who's like clearly loves the mundanity and the horror, the sheer horror that it is living in Britain for the past 10 years.
Absolutely.
I don't know what that's in reference to.
No, I don't understand that one. yeah, it's. Oh my word! I love that woman stuck in the window story. I missed it at the time, but when I saw it on Big Fat Quiz of the Year, I cried laughing.
Theresa May like dancing through that cornfield. That was a classic. London Underground, of course.
This is going to be the most fun. 100% when this comes out. I'm terrible at first person shooters, but I will be 100% doing a live stream of this. 100%. So yeah, I mean, it goes on and on.
It's got a tipping point. So if you've ever played a coin pusher at an arcade, if you're in the US and you have no idea what this is, if you've ever played one of those coin pushers at the arcades, then Tipping Point is essentially a game show version of that. Yeah, there's David Cameron.
Yeah, some pigs, a little bit naked.
And there's Jezza Corbin.
Yeah, it's unreal. You can shoot down the UKIP planes that were advertising the UKIP campaigners. Overflowed toilets on a train because they're always broken. Always.
There's a map based on the Great British Bake Off.
Oh no way! Has anybody
apparently
seen Red Notice on Netflix?
Not yet, no.
There's a tiny scene in that. Like I'm not giving anything away. There's the Dad for Heroes or whatever it's called. When I mean, this has got Dwayne the Rock Johnson, Ryan Reynolds, and Gal Gadot. And there's a bit where Gal Gadot's watching telly and she's watching the Great British Bake Off. And I just thought that was so weird for a massive A-lister movie that they're watching the Great British Bake Off in it. But yeah, that's a stupid Duke Nukem mod that's coming out. I mean, these things come out all the time, but this one is so bizarre and so British. How could we not bring it up?
The detail in there. Hats off to the fellow that made this. His name being Daniel Douglas. Well done, just well done.
And Sarah says, "Where's Boris Johnson?"
I'm sure he's in there. Probably as the final boss, and it'll be done when it's done, which is the classic Duke Nukem phrase. Especially if you follow 25 years of Duke Nukem Forever being made.
Yeah, absolutely, coming out and then being under average, I would say.
I already know that this is going to be above average. I cannot.
This is the Duke Nukem Forever we always wanted.
Yeah,
for sure. So I mean, hey, it is what it is. Hey, MIDI Music Forever, good to see you here, mate. Right, okay, so so happy with that. So happy with that. Like, let's move on to the PlayStation 3 is now 15 years old. What's the first game you think of when you hear PlayStation 3, Grizzly? And I'll put that out to the chat as well. Tell us the game that comes to mind.
First game I think of, weirdly, it's a game called 3D Game Heroes, but I think the one that really stands out to me is Demon's Souls.
Fair enough.
The reason being is PlayStation 3 was one of the first consoles that really embraced region friendliness, and this was at a time where Sony had previously turned around and to companies like Yes Asia. Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
They turned around to Yes Asia and said, no, you can't import games. It ruins regional sales and sales numbers. And if you don't buy the games for your region, then how do we know that they're going to be popular? Well, they changed all of that by making the PlayStation 3 region free, and it meant that games like Demon's Souls were actually able to get an airing, because otherwise it might never have left Hong Kong, or it might never have left Japan.
Absolutely.
So I was able to import an Asian copy in full English, play through it, and go, wow, other people need to try this. And suddenly, Grassroots campaign happened, and it got a Western release.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I remember all of the issues, and it was the PSP. It was happening with that as well, wasn't it?
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm looking through the chat here, and people are shouting out games here. Ridge Racer is obviously one. Michael Towns is all about that 3D Game Heroes. We've got a bit of BioShock comes to mind there. Red Dead Redemption and the Ratchet and Clank games, says Andy Norton. There's so many. The Last Guy is so unknown, and that is such a gem, that game, Marcus. You're absolutely right. And thank you, first time chatter, to Knives Robotica. Says Dark Cloud. So for all the RPG lovers out there, Dark Cloud. I can't believe no one's mentioned it. The most obvious one for me, it's Uncharted. That game blew me away. And obviously Uncharted 2 was better, and then you had arguably 3 was better, or around about the same, maybe not as good, but it was still a good game. That trilogy of games absolutely blew me away completely. And you know what else? With the original PlayStation 3, because at the time I was more of an Xbox 360 guy. I got a PlayStation 3 near the end of its life. I mean, no, not even near. I mean, that was a long generation. That was like almost like a decade-long generation, wasn't it? The 360 and PS3. But when I got a PlayStation 3 years later, there was just so much more exclusives to play than the Xbox 360. I think I have to keep reminding myself that the PlayStation 3 is better because I had so much love for the 360. That was my first like HD system that I bought.
Same.
But yeah, the PlayStation 3 was out of this world, and like I say, Uncharted completely blew me away. No, I'm surprised no one's mentioned Last of Us yet, but Last of Us was obviously a huge game for that.
I think it's hard to believe that was a PS3 game, because it really was so next generation, even though it was like tail end of PS3 era. And this is what people seem to forget: it's like the best games that come out for PlayStation formats tend to be the last ones out before the next generation. So you had God of War 2 for PS2 as an example. You had Shadow of the Colossus, Eco. And then PlayStation 3 had a very similar last hurrah with the likes of Last of Us, and the
what was the
I can't remember exactly which ones though. Go ahead.
Puppet Man,
Puppeteer.
That was it. Yeah.
Amazing. That's another thing. They had the enduringly weird PlayStation exclusives, which were a tradition, for the first 3 PlayStation consoles. Less so now.
Absolutely.
You had some crazy good stuff coming out for that console.
So I've got a big old list here of the best PlayStation 3 exclusive games based on player scores. So these are people that critics and gamer score people have actually put down. At the very top, you've got The Last of Us, was the highest score there. Then you've got Metal Gear Solid 4, but I don't believe that ended up staying as an exclusive. I mean, maybe
it did.
Oh, it did. Okay. Then you've got Little Big Planet 2 and Little Big Planet. Now, I will say I never got into Little Big Planet. I've got the first 2 and the one on the PS Vita, but I don't know. It didn't. There was something.
That game was way ahead of its time.
Yeah, I can understand why people liked it, and I had a lot of friends that were really into it, and it definitely deserves its love. But for me, it felt like. It felt way too floaty and strange. It wasn't a precise platformer, and it was a platformer based around physics a lot of the time. And I like precision platformers. Puppeteer is number 5. Then you got Demon Souls, Infamous 2. You had the Infamous games; they were great. Killzone 2, Ratchet and Clank, Tools of Destruction, and Ratchet and Clank: A Crack in Time. How is Uncharted on here?
Yeah, that sounds strange, that list to me, because Puppeteer would never have registered in my top 10.
No.
I'm just seeing someone in the chat, John Rogers, mentioning Tokyo Jungle. That is one hell of a game. Great title.
That was the dog game, wasn't it? Where you're playing as animals?
So, yeah, you played as various animals, like living through dystopian, like post-apocalyptic Tokyo.
Yeah.
Where all of humans are dead, and therefore, like animals are fending for themselves. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
So hard, but good.
Let me go to a better list here. I'll do it off Amazon. I don't know about that. Okay, so we've got the all Uncharted games there. God of War 2, Killzone 3, as we said, Warhawk is one, and Heavy Rain.
Heavy Rain, yeah.
You got that 3D dot game heroes, like as you said, Yakuza 4, Resistance Fall of Man, Mag. Remember Mag, wasn't it? Like massive...
massive action game, 256 players
at once. That was it.
It never worked.
I was a big fan of the MotorStorm games as well. As already been brought up, Apocalypse was the one I think I played the most. Or maybe Pacific Rift. The Sly Collection.
I remember playing super powered rocket. super acrobatic, rocket-powered battle cars, which later became Rocket League.
Absolutely.
That was exclusive to PS3.
The often overlooked, and I think a little bit misunderstood, Twisted Metal. It was good. I don't think it had quite as much style as Black or World Tour, but definitely not enough to make it a standout title. But it was still a pretty good game. There was a couple of One Piece exclusive games from what I remember. I'm seeing Mod Nation Racers. That was another one. Fat Princess. Obviously the Gran Turismo games. You know what? Like, obviously, not every game I'm bringing up here is for me, but what a selection of exclusives! I'm really upset I didn't buy more during its life, because it's a system that's shooting up in price if you want to get some of these games. Like Puppeteer, that's nearly a 3-digit price game now. You're going to be spending close to 100 on that game now. Yeah, it was 80 last time I checked. Splatterhouse has shot up in price, like stupidly, like the 2010 I think it was when that came out. Yakuza 3, Little Big Race, Little Big Planet Karting, sorry, a couple more Ratchet and Clank games like Quest for the Booty and stuff like that. Savage Moon, what was that? I've got it behind me. I'm just trying to see if I can find it. See if I can see it. Heavenly Sword, that was it.
That was great, yeah. That had Andy in it, didn't it?
They had what, sorry?
Andy Serkis. The gentleman who played Gollum and Caesar from Planet of the Apes. Andy Serkis was very big on the motion capture for that game.
Absolutely. I'm one of those people that bought a Move and really enjoyed it. Glad I did too, because I can use those controllers with my PSVR, says John Rogers. Absolutely. Yeah, it had some... Time Crisis may have been exclusive to the system, I'm not sure, but you can use the Move controllers on that.
It was.
Absolutely. I don't know of the game Pixel Junk 4am. I'm not sure on that.
Yeah, the Pixel Junk series was great. I love Pixel Junk Eden the most. That was the one where then you had the great indie games. You had the likes of Journey. That was a PS3 game. You had Flower.
Yeah.
Abzu, I think.
Maybe games like, how do you explain this game? It's like genre crushing games. The Ridge Racer series, which I know a couple of people have brought up there. Super Stardust HD, and that game is awesome when you play that in VR, by the way. It was a really good VR game for the PlayStation. I know we're moving into 4 now, but yeah, that was good. Let's see what else we can find out. Obviously, I've mentioned Heavily Sword. Folklore, I didn't check that one out. Some of the Hyperdimension Neptuna games, but I know you got other versions out for different games. Dust 514, the Wonder Book of Spells, Harry Potter thing there. Africa, which was PlayStation's attempt at doing Pokemon Snap, if I remember correctly. White Knight Chronicles, Medieval Moves. We're getting into weird stuff now. There you go. There's your Time Crisis 4. Soul Calibur Lost Swords.
You had House of the Dead 4.
You did?
Yeah.
Yes, because 3 was on the original Xbox, wasn't it? Yes.
The pirate-themed light gun game was Dreadstorm Pirates, if I recall. That was a classic like Namco shooter.
Lair is at the bottom of the list here for me. And one thing I wish, and also, how have they not brought up Wipeout? Like, I know like Wipeout wasn't exactly exclusive, and you can play like an even more HD'd version of that now on the PlayStation 4 Wipeout collection. But I wish they continued with 3D gaming. And I know I might be in the minority for saying that, but if anyone that's actually played a PlayStation 3 on a 3D TV with those glasses, it didn't add a lot. But playing games like Motorstorm and Wipeout, and I've just got Uncharted. I've never tried that, but I want to try that. And I know they've done it with Batman. The second one was Arkham City. Like, it was really cool. It was so nice.
I remember playing Shadow of the Colossus in 3D because the HD remaster for that. It was still very much the PS2 game, but they had the 3D aspect, and it was brilliant.
It was really such a shame. I think Motorstorm was the game that really blew me away, and it's such a shame because obviously the whole 3D TV thing now, like most 4K TVs, like 99% of them will not have a 3D function. They're just gone,
even though they clearly could.
Yeah, easily. But it was a really nice little extra for the PlayStation 3, and something that's often overlooked. But yeah, eventually it did outsell the Xbox, the PlayStation 3, even though the Xbox dominated for the majority of its 10-year span up until the end. It came out overly expensive, the PlayStation 3, in comparison to the competition, which was obviously the Xbox 360. They had their issues, just like Xbox did with the Red Ring of Death, but the PlayStation had the overheating chip.
The yellow lights, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. They actually removed the PlayStation 2 innards of the PlayStation 3 to knock the price down, but then that moved into emulation. And if you get yourself one of the earlier PlayStation 3s, the fat PlayStation 3 that has that PlayStation 2 functionality built in rather than emulated, and you've resoldered the chips to make sure that they work correctly, that is a great system to own.
Which I have one.
Do you actually?
I remember getting it at launch, and it's been going strong ever since, touch wood. I think the biggest problem with PlayStation 3 at the beginning was the complacency of Sony. And we're seeing a bit of that now with the PS5. But there was a couple of phrases, and I believe Ken Kutaragi was partially responsible for these, was the phrase, it doesn't matter how much it costs, people will buy it anyway because it's a PlayStation. And they were really tested when they tried to launch that thing at £425.
It's not a small amount of money, is it?
Which to this day is actually quite normal for a console, but back then you could get an Xbox 360 for £250.
Yeah,
you know,
and it
was just
stunning. And you got to look at the fact that the majority of these games were playable on both systems.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, we listed off a whole lot, but that's over a 10-year span.
Oh yeah,
you know,
and you know, the Microsoft had these guys pipped for God knows how long. It wasn't until the slim PS3 came out that Sony started to get their market share back. It was really dicey for them for a while.
It was.
And yeah, the PS3 did overtake the Xbox 360 in the end. And
took them a long time to get there, but
let's not pretend that the Microsoft sales were partially inflated thanks to a certain Red Ring of Light failure rate.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's still a testament to how big PlayStation are or were, that they were able to turn it around. And PS3 had great software to back it all up with, free internet. There was a reason why people liked playing on the thing.
Yeah,
and it just got better and better over time.
Yeah, like I say, I need to continuously remind myself that it is the better system out of the two. And I know that's probably quite painful for Xbox fans to hear, because I was... so much of my time during those 10 years or so was on the Xbox 360, but yeah, the PlayStation 3, it was an utterly fantastic system. PlayStation 3 was such a great system. It's so good, and there's so much more to experience, because they had so many great exclusives that it's unlikely you're ever going to get a chance to check them all out. And like I say, the Last Boy, or whatever, not The Last of Us, whatever that one that said there, the Lone Boy or the Last Boy or whatever it was, that was a great game as well. There's so many weird games.
I just remembered a classic thing.
Go on.
Ken Kutaragi once referred to the PS3 as it actually lets you plug into the Matrix. That is an absolute classic. Yeah, they kind of went off the rails with this one when they were advertising it early doors. I mean, who remembers those third place adverts with the ducks and the soot balls?
They've always been a bit like that, though, didn't they? Even with the PlayStation 2 era, they had like the really strange adverts.
Yeah, but these were something else.
Like
the baby crying at the TV and just like, what? Yeah, mad. Absolutely. Definitely watch the third place adverts for this anniversary. It's just weird.
Absolutely. It was The Last Guy was one I was trying to talk about earlier, I think it was.
Yeah.
It's such a weird game, that is. I bet that's shot up in price now as well. Let me have a look. The Last Guy on eBay. PlayStation 3, The Last Guy. Oh, that's not too bad. £28. That's pretty... I'm okay with spending that.
Yeah, not bad.
That's not bad, I suppose. Yeah, it's multi-region.
Yeah,
essentially.
Yeah, region free on all PS3 games.
Yeah.
The only thing that isn't region free is the Blu-rays.
Not bad, not bad. Sold items. Let's have a look. Okay, Puppeteer is actually going for a lot less than I said now, but it was going.
Now, welcome to the part of the podcast where Dan goes shopping.
It is. I'm looking on on Xbox, on eBay now for PlayStation 3 games because that's a system I'd like to collect more for because it's got some utterly fantastic games.
Now's the time.
Yeah, it really is. And like I say, you want to get that earlier one because you essentially got an HD PlayStation 1, 2, and 3 there in your hands. Yeah, it's good. It's good. Lovely, lovely. Good times. Good times. Not so much for the GTA. God, shut up.
Bum, 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 bum.
GTA, the Trilogy, Definitive Edition is not that good.
Yeah, we should have seen this one coming, to be fair. It feels a bit like a cash grab, one of those famous cash grabs that we keep hearing about. I don't know.
But the thing is, it should have been good because this is Rockstar.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, Rockstar do make, and I know, like, you know, we hate on them a little bit because, you know, for God's sake, make GTA 6 or do something else rather than the bloody DLC for GTA 5. Stop making that Xbox 360 game come out on the 4 and the 5 and, you know, everything else. But they still do make good games. GTA 5 is still a great game, like regardless of, you know, however it's done. Bully was fun. The Red Dead Redemption games are good. Even Rockstar Ping Pong game that they did, that was really good, that game. So this should have been good. A remaster of GTA the Trilogy. I know there was people crying in the beginning that this doesn't look like a full remaster. Well, no, this isn't like a remake. This is a remaster. And for what it looked like in those original images and that teaser trailer from Rockstar, this is pretty cool. I wasn't that interested in it because I know going back and playing those original games are a little too hardcore on the fetch quests. They've really done well with the storyline department in GTA 5. I think they progressed brilliantly. When you go back and play GTA 3 especially, and that was the one I had the most love for, you do realise that they're very samey. I'll go here and get that. Now go here and get that. Now go... Oh, come on. But anyway, that's why I didn't get it, and I'm glad I didn't because woo-wee, it's not good. It's not good. Let me try and get a montage up while you explain a bit more.
Yeah. So first sign always comes to me with as it not being as you remember is when they start talking about removal of music. I mean, one of the most iconic moments of playing Grand Theft Auto Vice City is the very moment you sit in a car and you hear Billie Jean come over the radio.
Oh, yes.
That song is no longer in GTA Vice City. Neither is Bark at the Moon by Ozzy Osbourne, Wanna Be Starting Something, Kate Bush. You know,
I mean, you can understand why these sort of things happen. I mean, it happens to even, like, you know, the favourite companies like you know, Sega. They had to remove Offspring. I've got a compilation of bad bugs going on the screen now, but Crazy Taxi had to remove the Offspring in the PC port of. But they knew that was going to be an issue, and they went out of their way to make sure you knew. You can put your own songs in this, by the way, by putting them in this folder. Like, they told you where to go because they knew they couldn't get around this. And I thought that was a cool move by them. That's a very Sega move to do something like that. And the thing is, the music they added on that game wasn't even that bad. You know, the punk bands they got, but it wasn't the Offspring. You know, at the end of the day, it wasn't the Offspring. Anyway, yes. So I can understand why, you know, problems occur with this GTA trilogy, and especially, like you say, the GTA trilogy. The amount of songs on those playlists. I remember the Vice City box set alone, just for the soundtracks, was like 10 discs or 8 discs or something ridiculous like that. So there was a lot of music they had to get the rights to. So the odd one was going to fall through the gaps. Unfortunately, that wasn't the worst of the issues with this collection.
I think the biggest thing about the music, just while we're on that subject, is it's not so much that a song's been removed. Like, I'm just reading in the chat, by the way, Kate Bush has not been removed. The list was wrong. But it's not so much that they've removed tracks, it's that they've removed tracks that are actually intrinsic to the experience.
Right.
Like that Billie Jean moment. A lot of people have nostalgia for that. And it's just not the same. That it's been removed, that kind of thing. And then also removing Killing in the Name of from GTA San Andreas. What are you thinking?
Yeah.
That is the
Painful.
reason. That is the song for that game anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's so much else that's wrong with this. I mean, I've seen some really harrowing clips and screenshots today. One of my favorites being that the Tough Nut donut store in GTA San Andreas, they've actually smoothed the donut when it's supposed to look like a nut, like a proper like mechanical nut.
Yeah.
So they've actually taken away stylistic choices. The new engine for animation and movement feels and looks completely wrong. If it rains in GTA San Andreas, you cannot see anything.
The rain is terrible. The rain is terrible. I'm gonna find some rain footage for people that haven't seen it because it's unreal. Actually, sorry, I'll keep this playing while I find it.
They also removed Iran from, Flock of Seagulls. The advert, the song they used in the advert for GTA Vice City.
It's a shame.
Why?
Here we go. We get some rain footage up. That's what it looks like. And the thing is, when you're in a plane, because one of the fun things about in GTA, in all GTAs, it hurts your eyes to look at. It really does. It's just messing around. Having all of the cops chase you, getting all of the different cars, all that sort of stuff. All the different aeroplanes. Now, the funny thing about it is, if you go in a jet or something like that, and then you fly downwards, you end up beating the rain, and then the rain starts going upwards. It's so messed up. It's so messed up.
Yeah, it's just it feels like, because they've used like a general engine just to essentially smooth everything out.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't really taken any consideration into like what was actually stylistically right. They haven't done. It looks like they haven't proofread a really, really long essay in this regard. I think that's the best analogy I can give it. It's just an absolute mess, and certainly not what you come to expect from the likes of Rockstar. The guys
this is
who
Rockstar at the end of the day, like you say, yeah.
Yeah. This feels like something they needed to pad out the Q4, the end of Q4, so that they can get a better Q1 start. It's such a shame, it really is, because these are classic games, and unfortunately, still the best way to play it is by pulling out your old console and playing it there.
Absolutely.
Genuinely.
Yeah, and I don't think they ever really looked bad, like in the beginning. I mean, it's quite nice what they were trying to do and all that sort of stuff. But I remember, I mean, I suppose these aren't really remasters. That's quite a bad comparison. But I remember when you played the Stories games on the PSP, they look great. For the time, they look really, really good. And these are games that came out a good significant amount of time after those PlayStation 2 releases, or at least the first one, Liberty City Stories. This didn't need to happen. It's so the glitch compilation I've got on here is really bad, and I know there was a lot of issues with things like Cyberpunk as well, and to the point where it was a little bit exaggerated. It doesn't seem to be the case with this trilogy. Like, everyone is noticing these issues, so much so that Rockstar have essentially stopped it for sale now, haven't they?
Yeah, they did, because it was genuinely broken. Some people just could not play the game because it was glitching so bad. Mm-hmm. And that's really significant. It's when you got a game that's as old as GTA 3, which came out in 2001, around that time.
Mm-hmm.
This game is 20 years old. It's gone through various iterations. It's had mobile phone ports. It's had various ports to different consoles. This is the best they could do.
It's a real shame. And the thing is, what blows my mind is the fact that there's no way they didn't know this. There's no way they didn't know this was coming, because all you've got to do is play through the free games once. And either that didn't happen, which is bad, or they just said, fuck it, let's ship it. And that's also bad. There's no there's no right way about it. It's terrible. And this comes from Rockstar. Rockstar shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah. They know better, and they've built their brand on being this high quality company that only releases the game, like one game every 3 to 4 years, simply because they want it to be the best it can be. And GTA is famous for that. I mean, how long did it take from GTA 4 to GTA 5? They are known for releasing quality products, and this is anything but.
Yeah. Yeah. Why does GTA look like Saints Row DLC? Says Ultimate Joshy Washiness.
Yeah.
It
wow.
wishes. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a real shame. They and they've not really given any decent statement to it either, have they?
Yeah. I mean, it seems like they just put more effort into getting GTA 5 working on modern consoles and releasing DLC than giving a lot of care and attention to the games that made them famous. Yeah.
It's a shame. It's a shame. Yeah. But yeah, those rain effects, man.
Yeah. Sad.
The fact that they just disappear whenever there's a pool of water anywhere. It's like the rain only seems to fall around the water.
Yeah, that's crazy. I'm just looking at that. That's a weird effect. It seems to be like using boundaries of some kind.
It's almost like what you can see every so often, a bit of rain where the water is, and that's what the rain should look like all the way through. But it's on like 5 times mode on anywhere where there isn't water in your eye line. It's very, very bizarre. Very bizarre. And I had to look this up. Who said this? I think it was Michael Scully. But basically, yeah, they've added the GTA Rain into Doom as a Doom mod. So you can not see what you're doing in Doom now as well if you really want. That's just for the fun of it.
Oh, that's brilliant. I'm looking forward to like different games with the GTA Rain now.
I'm glad that this is a meme. If there's one good thing that's come out of this, it's the fact that this is now a thing that's real.
They should do Heavy Rain, but it's exactly just this throughout the whole
Heavy
game.
GTA Rain. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Well, yeah, it's all very sad. Rockstar definitely know better. There's no way they didn't know this was going to fire back in. It's so bad. It's so bad. Very, very naughty. Very, very naughty. Naughty, naughty, naughty.
Yeah.
Moving on to our final topic. The awesome, the legendary, the man, the myth, the legend that recently followed me on Twitter. Woo! I've made it. Yuzo Koshiro, the guy that famously created the music for the Streets of Rage franchise. Shout out to Data Discs as well, by the way. He also did the music for Revenge of Shinobi, and their Data Disc release just went up on Bandcamp. So you want to hear the best way to listen to that, you can go check it out on Bandcamp. But yes, he is now petitioning to bring back Terranigma.
Yeah, so this Terranigma being the Japanese RPG, action RPG from Square Enix back in the Super Nintendo days. Yuzo Koshiro just happens to be a big fan, and this is what I like about it. It's so wholesome. He just really wants a remake, and he's seen how other games have become popular, you know, like Wonder Boy 4, Asher and Monster World, and all of these games getting remakes, and he was thinking, well, where's my favourite game? I want to play Terranigma again. So he's spoken to a few guys at who originally worked on Terranigma, and if you read his like change.org petition, it is one of the most passionate, one of the most like respectful like stories about, you know, his favourite game. And the people that worked on it, you know, he's talking about the music in the game. It's just like going, oh, yeah, this is the best thing I've ever heard. This is, you know, transcendent almost. You know, you can tell he absolutely just wants this. He's spoken to a few guys at the Terranigma development team, and they've said that they would be interested in both doing a port and a remake if this was to be allowed to go past. So all I can say is, good luck, Yuzo Koshiro and Terranigma team, because, you know, more retro re-releases like this, or more, you know, continuations of retro games, is always appreciated.
These games are out there. They're legendary. I mean, this isn't for me, this sort of game, but, you know, these games are out there. They are legendary. They've got a massive fan base behind them, but the reality is the majority of the time these games aren't accessible to the wider market outside of the hardcore retro gaming scene. So let those hardcore retro gamers continue to buy all of those carts if they really want to, but for everyone else, give them the opportunity to play these incredible games, whether that's done in a remake way or a port or a remaster, whatever. It's 100% worth doing. Like I say, I'm not a fan of these games, but I really hope this does go for it. Go ahead. What's more to be said, really?
Yeah, and I just liked it as that wholesome story because Yuzo Koshiro is one of our favorite composers, of course, and just to see him throwing his passion at another development thing, it's kind of contagious. So I'm looking forward to see whether he gets what he wants, and I just want Yuzo to be a happy man.
Yeah, that's all we want. That's all we want. Yeah, more classic Yuzo games, please. Do that thing.
Yes.
Absolutely. I'm gonna press play on a SNES drunk video of it. Good channel. But guys, I think that's actually got to the end of our podcast. A bit of a shorter topics this week, but all worthy, especially that Duke Nukem one, which looks incredible.
Duke Smoochum for the win. I want to play that so bad.
I really do, and they need to hurry up with it because these stories aren't getting any newer. Let's get that bad boy out.
Too right.
Absolutely. So, let's end the podcast with our little outro, shall we?
Bye.
Thanks for listening to SLOPESCAST, the retro gaming news show with myself, DJ Slope, and my co-host Grizzly Crichton, recorded live on Twitch every single Tuesday night. If you want to listen in live, then make your way over to twitch.tv/Slopes Game Room at 9 PM UK time, 1 PM Pacific Standard Time, and 4 PM Eastern Standard Time. And as stated, if you want to be in a chance to be on a future episode, then please do consider supporting the show on Patreon or as a YouTube member. And finally, if you do have any news stories for us, then please do feel free to drop them in the dedicated rooms over on Discord at discord.gg/Slopes Game Room. And until next time, guys, this is DJ Slope signing out, and hopefully I'll see you all next time. We're back. Hey, everyone. We'll fix it. It's our TikTok. It goes all weird when we do the intro and outro for TikTok, but it's all good. So, guys, I appreciate you hanging out tonight. It was good. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. No, great to have everyone still around. Appreciate it. And as if you are coming in late or you are looking to listen again in the near future, we are going live tonight.
On that is speed.
Spotify. So yes, we've worked it out. We've cracked the code, and now the podcast is on all podcast platforms the night that we record it.
Oh yes.
Aren't you lucky?
They're too lucky. Luke Jorgensen, thanks for the entertainment. Well, thank you, mate, and appreciate your support there, mate. Thank you. What a legend.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I'm not going to be streaming this Thursday, but please do join the Discord because we'll try and do a movie night one night of Tekken, which should be good fun. Try and do that.
We'll be Tekken the Mick for sure.
Oh, yeah, we're taking the piss. There he is. There it popped through. Thank you, mate. Thank you, Luke. So we're going to try and do a little movie night of Tekken one night. Like I say, I'm not streaming this Thursday because I've got a charity event I'm doing with the family, one I've been working on for a while. And then I'm obviously hanging out with my relatives that are coming over to help us run that bad boy. Okay, there we go. And... but I will be back next Thursday and obviously next Tuesday for another SLOPESCAST as well. So I think that's about it.
Yeah.
Jobs are good, and also keep an eye out, guys, because I am working on Tekken: The Complete History. Expect it up in the next couple of weeks. I'm really pushing to get it done within the next couple of weeks. Really excited for it. It's a behemoth of a video, massive one.
Michael, I've got to say, in the comment, I've just had to okay Michael's comment because he just said, "AA Tekken, I will find you and I will kill you." And now I've just had to add a permitted term, "I will kill you." Thank you for that, Mike.
He's a good lad, isn't he? He's a good lad.
Yes, yeah.
Well, there we go. Well, look, guys, thank you so much. We're going to end it here. I'm going to go hang out with the wife because I have been working all day long on Tekken. All day long. And I am seriously talking all day long. Like I say, Tekken Advance, I had to play that today, and it is surprisingly not too bad. But yeah, I'm going to go hang out, and yeah, cheers everyone for the awesome, just being awesome.
Dan will be taking a rest now.
I will be. Catch you later, everyone. Thank you very much, Luke, for the support tonight, mate. Ian Batron88 and for following. T the T for subscribing, and Andy Norton for resubscribing. So much love to you all, and I'll see you all this weekend for a new video, and then on Tuesday, see you next Tuesday for the next podcast. Bye bye, everyone.
Bye.